Hey y'all, Kitty Cat here. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I talk a lot about avoiding processed foods, going to the grocery store and buying ingredients or whole foods, and then doing a lot of home cooking. Yeah. And that's key for living healthier for longer when you have chronic kidney disease. But that's not what this video is about. I'm about to get patriotic on you when I say that no one does junk food quite like the good old US of A. We are the champions, my friends. A few of you watching right now completely abstain from junk food. And if that's you, congratulations. You win. This is the end of the video for you. I have nothing left to say. Okay, now that those folks are gone, let's you and me get into what foods are absolutely horrible, which snack foods are okay, and which ones are almost healthy. Nice. To find some interesting snacks, I scoured the junk food aisle at the Dollar Tree and even peeked into the back of my cabinets to find a nice selection. I've got 13, that's a baker's dozen, different junk food delights to go over with you. Yes. And oh man, I found some great stuff. But first I've got to lay down some ground rules. When I'm looking at an enticing snack, I'm checking out 5 different things. The first one is the sodium content. Almost everyone with chronic kidney disease is asked to follow a low sodium diet, so we're aiming for 200 milligrams of sodium or less at a snack. And the second one is potassium. If you have early stage kidney disease, you're going to be asked to get adequate amounts of potassium. But for those with later stage kidney disease, chances are you're on a potassium restriction and you're aiming for 200 milligrams or less at a snack. Number 3 is the serving size. Just how realistic is it? I mean, some foods, the serving size is believable, and other ones, you know you're gonna eat 2 or 3 servings. Number 4 is the simplicity of the ingredient list. When I see an ingredient list that is a mile long, that's a real big turnoff. That makes me very nervous. And when I see words in the ingredient list that sound like a chemistry lab experiment, I'm also not interested. That's a big criteria for me. And number 5 is any word in the ingredient list that has PHOS in it. That's added phosphorus. And if you're in late stage kidney disease, you're probably following a low phosphorus restriction. And hey y'all, while I'm blah blah blahing, you might want to get your phone out and take a picture, a little screenshot of this thing over here. It will help you out when you're at the grocery store looking at the snacks that you're interested in. And yes, there are a lot of other things that you could look for on a food label, like saturated fat content, added sugar content, fiber content, tons of stuff, but I can't get into all of that. I think that these 5 criteria that we're looking for is going to be enough for today. Our first category is reserved for the king of all junk food, the chip. Our first contestant is the Tostitos scoop. Awesome, with some salsa or some homemade guacamole, or a homemade salsa verde if you need a low potassium diet. Let's check out the food label and run through our criteria. It's got 115 milligrams of sodium, which is less than 200, so it passes for criteria number 1. There's 40 milligrams of potassium, which is also less than 200, so it passes muster for the low potassium diet, if you need to follow it. Number 3 is the serving size, which is about 11 chips. I love American English, we keep it real. It's not approximately 11 chips, it's about 11 chips. Yeah. Anyway, I think 11 of these chips is a pretty reasonable amount. Number 4 takes us to the ingredient list. How long is it? There's only 3 ingredients: corn, oil, and salt. Very simple ingredient list. I love it. Number 5, added phosphorus. Nope, none of these ingredients has the letters PHOS in it, so there's no added phosphorus. So these Tostitos pass the test. Are they health food? Heck no. But you know what? They're a better choice for people with chronic kidney disease. Yes. Next up are Pringles, barbecue flavor, bursting with flavor. Let's check out the food label. This label is in both English and Spanish. Muy fantástico! According to the Datos de Nutrición, it's got just 135 milligrams of sodium in it. And this chip is made out of potato, not corn, so it's no surprise that it's got some potassium in it. But it's just 110 milligrams, so that's still okay. The serving size is about 14 crisps, which is a reasonable amount. And the ingredient list is pretty long and full of words that a chemistry major might recognize. So it does not pass for the 4th criteria. But there are no ingredients with PHOS in it. So there's no added phosphorus. It passes for number 5. Moving on to Doritos Cool Ranch. The sodium content is almost too high at 190 milligrams. The potassium is fine at 50 milligrams. The serving size is reasonable at 12 chips. The ingredient list is very lengthy and it does look like science at work. And none of the ingredients has added phosphorus in it. Towards the end of this video, I will show you some food that has added phosphorus in it. But so far, all these chips are cool. Like Cool Ranch, dude. But what about the stuff that's next to the chips at the grocery store but is not chips? Like these Veggie Straws. They brag about being non-GMO and hey, that's cool. And they brag about being a good health snack. We're gonna see about that. Let's do the rundown. So it has 290 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's a no, that's too much sodium. And it's got 190 milligrams of potassium. That's borderline too high. The serving size is about 40 straws. And I'm gonna tell you, these things are as light as air. So 40 straws is believable. And for the ingredients, it is longish. Some of the ingredients here are just added vitamins, and I'm totally okay with that. I'm still gonna give it a yellow check mark though. And as has been the trend, there is no added phosphorus in this snack. Okay, but the real elephant in the room is, why can't this product be sold in California? Well, I looked into it, and it does have a chemical called acrylamide in it, which is something that forms when you cook food at a really high temperature. But I'm not getting into that, y'all. We know these are not health food options. It's not something we want to eat all the time. And even if that food label says that it's a healthy choice, how many of us are fooled?
Nope.
What about this Skinny Pop popcorn that's right next to the chips? It's got 75 milligrams of sodium. That's awesome. There's only 40 milligrams of potassium. Great. The serving size is the entire package for this one. That is amazing and very reasonable. There are only 3 ingredients to this one. It's popcorn, sunflower oil, and salt. It does not get more simple than that. And none of these words has PHOS in it. This Smart Pop popcorn is not a bad choice, y'all. What about these CheezIts? Okay, they're bragging on the front about being made with whole grain, but they have 230 milligrams per serving. Ouch. The potassium is fine at 50 milligrams. The serving size is generous at 26 crackers. I'd say that you could probably just eat half of that and still be satisfied, and that would take the sodium content down too. The ingredient list is long, but it's not that scary looking, and there is no added phosphorus. I would pass up on these CheezIts unless you're happy enough with a smaller serving size.
Nope.
I know what you're thinking. What about Brims, old-fashioned pork cracklins? Well, well, well. They've got 390 milligrams of sodium. Ouch. That's way too much. There's no potassium to speak of. The serving size for this tiny little bag is 1/2 ounce. And if you don't have a Featherlight kitchen weighing scale at home, the bag does say there's 4 servings in it. So if you're just supposed to eat 1/4 of this tiny bag. And I'm gonna rank that pretty low on the believability index. I think half a bag is more realistic, and that would put you at almost 800 milligrams of sodium. The ingredient list is not that long, and there are no added phosphorus ingredients. I'm still giving it a yellow caution because of the MSG and the saturated fat. I really don't want anyone eating this. Overall, this is not a good choice. I found this lovely treat at the dollar store. It's Big's Taco Supreme Sunflower Seeds. And I want you to have a little miniature heart attack with me when we look at the sodium content. 3,400 milligrams of sodium.
Whoa.
The serving size is 1 bag. I do hear you saying, but Kitty Cat, we don't eat all of it. We're spitting out the sunflower shells and we're spitting out a lot of sodium along with that. And yes, that is true, but you're still getting a ton of salt. And the potassium content is also very high. It's 320 milligrams. Oof. And the serving size is the entire bag, which is believable. The ingredient list is way too long. This one is a big no, y'all. Changing it up a bit, let's look at these Southern Grove Montmorency cherries. You try saying that. Montmorency cherries. There's no sodium in it. Great. There's no potassium in it. And I know what you're thinking. If you're on a low potassium diet, you have been told by your dietitian to avoid dried fruits at all costs. They're very high in potassium. But that is not the case with dried cranberries, not the case with these dried cherries.
Nice.
The serving size is 1/4 cup, which is reasonable for dried fruit. The ingredient list is very short. It's just 3 things: cherries, sugar, and sunflower oil. None of the ingredients has PHOS phosphorus in it. I know I wasn't going to talk about other things on the food label, but I did have to point out this thing has 12 grams of added sugar in it. So just when you thought this could be health food, it's more like a dessert. What about my kids' favorite, these Welch's mixed fruit snacks? It's got just 20 milligrams of sodium. It does not have enough potassium to even mention. The serving size is 1 little pouch, which is nice because it comes partitioned out for you. I love it. And the ingredient list is very long, and it lost me at red dye number 40. None of the ingredients, though, has the word PHOS in it. Verdict, just like the Pringles, I would not eat this snack on the regular, but every now and then is probably just fine. Oh, next up we have Hostess Twinkies, which does proudly display the expiration date up on the front. Just in case you thought these would survive an apocalypse, you were wrong. The sodium content is really high at 370 milligrams. There's no potassium to speak of though. And the serving size is 2 cakes. And guys, each cake is individually wrapped. So, I mean, it kind of leads you to believe that a serving size should only be 1 cake. And if that's the case, it would take the sodium content down pretty significantly if you just ate the 1 cake. The ingredient list is very long and it contains several ingredients with PHOS in it. That's the added phosphorus, y'all. Guess what? Not a good choice. And I've got time for 2 more snacks. The first one is Belvita breakfast biscuits. These little things taste amazing. Let's take a look. All right, there's 210 milligrams of sodium. That is a little too much. The potassium is okay at 80 milligrams. The serving size is 4 biscuits. And that's a nice amount, but you might do just fine having 2 or 3 biscuits, which would bring that sodium content down significantly for us. The ingredient list is long, although some of these scary looking words are just added vitamins. I'm still gonna give it a yellow. And it also does contain added phosphorus. There's disodium pyrophosphate and ferric orthophosphate. That's added phosphorus. We don't want to eat it. If you have early stage kidney disease and you're not that worried about added phosphorus yet, this might be an okay snack to have. I would just recommend, instead of doing the 4 biscuit serving size, that you just do 2 or 3 so that you can get that sodium content down a little bit. And our final snack is the Nature Valley Crunch Oat Bars by General Mills. It's got 140 milligrams of sodium. That's fine. There's no potassium. That's awesome. The serving size is 2 bars, and there are 2 bars per pack, so that's believable. And the ingredient list is short and not scary looking. And there are no ingredients with PHOS in it. There's no added phosphorus. Overall, this is a great choice, but the discriminating food snob in me would just love it even more if it was made with organic oatmeal. General Mills, if you are listening, I would be willing to pay just a little bit more for organic oats. Yeah. All right. Let's crown the winners of this junk food contest. The top 3 awards go to Tostitos, Smart Pop, and Nature Valley. Nice. And the runners up go to Pringles, Welch's Fruit Snacks, and those Southern Grove dried cherries. And I just wanted to say that no, I'm not promoting processed junk food. I just live in the same world as you and just trying to make it through, okay? If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you need more videos like this in your life, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kitty Cat. And that's all for now. I'll see you next time.